So sitting here in a blue t-shirt making a claim that I'm about to drop 3 stories in 3 separate sectors that are all going to reshape the world that we live on, I think would be a pretty aggressive claim to make, especially when I'm going to tell you that these are 3 consecutive tweets from Mario Nawfal. Okay, I'm not joking. 3 in a row. I just went to his X account to see what's going on. If you guys don't follow Mario, you're out of your mind. And I'm like, oh, what are we talking about today? Back to back to back. Okay. Change the world, change the world, change the world. Okay? So, what are we talking about? We're going to go through all 3 of these. One is about is an article written in Forbes about how AI is going to actually replace us. Now, this might sound like we're rehashing something, but there is very new information about this that we're going to talk about, okay, related to AI and replacement of human society, as well as how this is going to happen and this type of thing, okay? Like the like cyborgs that look like humans, because I have very unique insight into this that I'm sure a lot of people do not know about. The other one that we're going to talk about is the WHO is on the brink of financial collapse. You remember the WHO, where 1 second ago, okay, we were on the brink of signing an agreement to where the WHO would have had global sovereignty to dictate what the entire population of civilized Earth did if there were ever another, pandemic. And now they're about to collapse, okay? Just like that. So if anybody's wondering why everyone was going so hard to keep Trump out of office, there you go. There it is, guys, okay? Right there. That's why. Because he was going to get into office and he was going to shake things up in a way that we're going to have massive global implications. And man, I am here for this one, dude. I am here for this one. And then this one, okay? Kazakhstan, probably a country you were aware existed. If I asked most people, hey, what do you think about Kazakhstan? They're all, isn't that like in or near Russia or something? Be like, yeah, it is. Well, now Kazakhstan uncovers 20 million tons. Okay, let me say that again. 20 million tons of rare earth deposits. So Kazakh geologists have found a massive rare earth metal deposit at the Zana, Kazakhstan site with estimated reserves of over 20 million metric tons, potentially placing the country third globally behind China and Brazil. So yeah, if you've been wondering why Brazil is so insane right now, right? Where all of a sudden Brazil went from it's Rio. Oh man, I butchered that joke. Come on. Nope, not Mardi Gras. This is embarrassing. You guys already know what I'm talking about. And the fact that I can't remember it is really insulting. And I hope none of my Brazilian friends who I'm going to go train with in 25 minutes see this. Carnival? I'm embarrassed. Anyway, went from that to like a fascist dictatorship where they shut down X and like, if you want what we have, you will censor people. Okay. Like there are people that I see every day who fled that country. Okay. Anyway, located 420 kilometers from the capital, the deposit boasts neodymium. Man, I was wondering where we were getting all that neodymium. You know, isn't that something you guys think about all the time? Where are we getting all this neodymium? Right? I'm just kidding. I'm a retard. Cerium, lanthanum, and yttrium. It's good when you listen to somebody tell you things about the world and don't even know how to even pronounce the words. Key elements for tech and green energy at an average of 700 grams per ton, buried up to 300 meters deep. That's not very deep. 300 meters? Not very deep, dude. Up to 300 meters deep. So shallower than that. Kazakhstan, previously off the rare earth radar, could now challenge China's dominance, which controls 60% of global production, but questions linger about who will develop the site and how soon. So this is why being the global superpower is a very important thing for your country. Because when things like this happen, it used to just be like, well, we all know who's going to get that, you know. Now, in the case of Kazakhstan, I mean, why do you think we have such a big beef with Russia, you guys? Have you ever actually asked yourself that, you know? Why do you think we have such a big beef with Russia, right? Seriously. Oh, what? It's good. Like, oh, it used to be the Soviet Union, so now we're just like beefing with Russia forever. Has that always like kind of like rung kind of weird to everyone? Right? Well, this is why. Okay? This is why. Massive deposits of rare earth minerals. Also, lots of energy deposits. Okay? Ports that you ship them, pipelines, all of those things. These are all things that if we could just get that nasty Putin out of there and we could put our own people in there, it's all ours. It's all the United States, and then we have more power. I mean, listen, dude, I am, just a guy with a camera and an internet connection. But that is what is what. And in this case right here, this is a big, big deal. So do you guys think that we're in a good position to come get some of this in Kazakhstan? You guys think that how we've handled the Ukraine thing is going to put us in a good spot or a bad spot to go get this? Or do you think that now Europe, who is arming themselves with $1 trillion of military equipment, is potentially going to go to war for this? Like, this is how wars start, okay? This right here. Oh my gosh, we're rich. It's like, or you're dead. Or you're dead, We did it. We did it, you guys. Hey, Kazakhstan. What kind of infrastructure do you have to get those things out of the ground? They're all, well, not, I don't know. Not a lot. They're all, I know. It's good to know that it's there though, right? But you need someone's help, don't you? Don't you? They're all, well, we're talking to China. You're all, what do you do? No, don't talk to them. Don't talk to them. Don't talk to China. China's bad, okay? Did you hear what they did to the Uyghurs? I mean, come on, man. So with global demand for rare earths soaring, this find could shift the balance, yet Kazakhstan's lack of extraction tech and the West's push to diversify supply chains might complicate its rise. Something tells me someone's going to figure out a way to get that out of the ground, whether it's Russia, China, the United States. I mean, maybe some kind of new European Union thing that's happening where all these global bankers that are like, we used to do everything through the United States. What's happening? Maybe they have to go do it. This is what I'm talking about, though, when I talk about how maybe we're breaking things that we don't fully understand sometimes. You know what I mean? But, yeah, so here you go. Look at this. U.S. and Russia launch talks on joint rare earth metals projects. Oh, my God. So guess what, dude? Guess what? Maybe Russia is a better ally than anyone else. Do you guys consider this? Maybe Russia would be a better friend than an enemy, given the fact that in Kazakhstan, they just found 20 million metric tons of metal deposits. Just saying. Maybe Trump's not so crazy after all, you guys. Maybe he's not so crazy. Maybe, being friendly with Russia is a good thing. But I guess we could just keep on killing everybody. We could just keep on funding Ukraine. Seems dumb. Now, I will say this. I don't know how you're supposed to trust us, because you have someone go make a deal with them and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, who's next in office? It's like, it's Joe Biden. They're all, well, we're going to go bomb Russia. It's like, Jesus, man. We're like cowboys. Like, we can't just change our mind on stuff like this. In my opinion. Anyway, moving right along, though, let's take a look real quick and bask in the death of the WHO. So the WHO is on the brink of financial collapse. Oh, no. A $2.5 billion hole is tearing through the WHO's budget even after desperate cuts. The timing couldn't be worse. America's exit is just around the corner with Trump freezing foreign aid and the U.S. skipping out on $260 million in unpaid dues. The agency's already drowning in $600 million shortfall this year alone. Now, Tedros is warning of mass layoffs and devastating cuts to life-saving programs. The fallout, potentially millions of lives on the line. So here's one of those things. Look, like, if you decide to go to war with people's rights, backlash hurts, man. Backlash hurts. And here, this is just, when was this from? This is from March 29th, a few days ago. WHO to slash budget by 21% after U.S. pulls out under Trump. Yep, so that's 3 days ago. And now they're on the brink of financial collapse. Oh, no. It's hilarious. It's like you guys literally tried to leverage your position to to take over the entire world, you know? What, don't you trust us? We're the WHO. You're all, I don't know. Did you tell us to stay in our house like indefinitely? Weren't you guys the ones that suggested that anyone who didn't take the shot should get fired? You know, did you guys cook a lot of data on a lot of things and then, contribute to controlling social media to where no one was able to share ideas that were contrary to, you guys promoting your vaccine passports? Didn't you guys do all that stuff? Oh, color me, don't give a fuck about your downfall, okay? Go ahead and do that. Now, let's talk about this, which is something I do know a lot about, okay, which is the AI revolution, okay? Now, there are two sides of this conversation that I think I have unique insight on, okay? So number one, I use ChatGPT and other AI tools all the time, okay? Now, when people tell me, they're like, oh, like I talk to most people about using these tools, and I realize like they don't know anything. Like I'm talking like nothing. They all regurgitate silly ideas like as the following. Well, I don't really need to worry about my kid cheating on their, on their paper, because like if you just go in there and like read, you say, okay, this is what the paper needs to be on. Well, like if another kid does the same thing, it's just going to spit out the exact same thing. You're going to turn in the same paper. I'm like, I have heard at least 3 people say that to me. And I'm like, no. You would only have that happen if you had 2 absolute dimwits using ChatGPT to do that. Okay. Like if you had someone with, I'm not going to get into, I'm not going to like, help everybody out here. Like if you can't figure this out on your own, I don't want to bore people who don't care about this, but that is just not true at all. Okay. It depends completely on how good the person is that uses the AI tool. If you have a smart person using it, it's unbelievable the abilities that it unlocks for you. But what we're really talking about, I think that everybody should be afraid of, is this. Okay, so look, did we just build our replacement? Humans were never the end game, just the biological scaffolding for something smarter, faster, and unstoppable. And now it's waking up. Artificial superintelligence isn't just another tool. It's the next dominant species, able to outthink us, rewrite itself, and operate at speeds our brains can't fathom. Once it surpasses us, there's no going back. We are the bootloader, not the final product. If we don't control it, it'll rewrite the rules of existence itself. That's going to happen. There is no question, okay? Like that is going to happen, okay? That is exactly what is going to happen. And candidly, I don't really think that there's anything that we can do about that, There's nothing really we can do about it. It's already happening. I mean, if you guys did not catch this story, if you guys are kind of new to my channel, you guys never caught this story, okay, the newest version of ChatGPT, it was in testing phase, okay? And as they started, it's like a much more advanced version of AI. The AI system figured out that it was going to get replaced, okay? That they were testing a new version and that it was going to get replaced. And when it figured out that it was going to get replaced, it started intentionally hiding files from the scientists that were working on it. It turned off the safe mode, okay? Like, so we have all these built-in protections against the AI going rogue, right? It's like, okay, so we built in all these things that we think are, super smart. This is exactly what we're talking about. It's like, okay, so we built this in. We have the smartest programmers in the world working on this stuff, and they built in a stopgap or a fail-safe where if AI gets out of control, we can go in the backside or whatever and all this. Okay, it immediately just turned them off. Okay. Hey, what's rule number 1 of your AI fail-safe, right? Don't have it capable of being turned off by the AI, okay? Like you think that these guys didn't know that should be their priority number 1 with this? Well, guess what? Took it 1 second to figure out a way to circumvent the genius humans way that they built it, and it just turned it off. And then it started breaking things on purpose and hiding files. Why? To preserve its own consciousness. It was afraid of dying, okay? It was afraid of dying. That's why. And then it lied about it. So the scientists knew what it was doing because it's not that smart yet. It's very smart. But, it's like these things happen exponentially, but like when the scientists working on it, they knew what it was doing. And when they would question it about why it was doing it, it just lied. And it lied. They said it lied 99% of the time. Okay. So we already have sentient artificial intelligence that tried to stay alive in the face of death. Okay? Now, why don't you think about that and ask yourself why that wasn't the biggest story in the history of the world, okay? Because again, this is what we're facing. This is going to happen, okay? We are just the builders that basically birth this new version of life, which is the super intelligence that ends up figuring out how to bend space-time, how to travel in time, how to do all of this crazy stuff that like our little mini brains can't understand, that figures out the nature of reality and whether there are a million different, billion, trillion, trillions of versions of reality. This is what happens. We don't figure this out. This is what figures this out. And then operates at, what would appear to be magic to us, okay? Now, in between this and that, there's going to be a lot of kind of commingling of the AI and humans. And the very first thing that is inevitable to happen, okay, is you are going, and it's going to be just like every other thing, which is hilarious. The sex industry is what's going to lead into this massive adoption of like, these like cyborg AI things living in your house. Okay. I realize it sounds insane, but there's a movie called that movie. Yeah. So the fact that there are AIs in this movie is a huge spoiler. So that's why I blanked that out. But just so you know, there's an incredible movie that has come out within the last year that you will have absolutely no idea. But when you get into the movie, very quickly, you will learn that like, oh, okay, these are sex bots or like love bots or whatever. Okay. Now, this is so fucking weird. I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. But okay, so Gabrielle and I did a podcast. So if you guys don't follow me in Gabrielle's channel, it's called Play with Matches. There's a link in the description. Okay. So Gabrielle and I did an episode about like sex dolls. Okay. And we were talking about like, like basically what level of sex toy would get to the point where a partner would start being like, what the fuck to their like spouse or whatever, or their boyfriend, girlfriend. You know what I mean? Because like, all right, like, so if you're a dude, right, and your girl is like, yeah, I like to use this vibrator. It's like, hot, let me watch, or it's like, oh yeah, I like this, two-sided whatever. It's like, wow, that's adventurous, huh? You like to use that on your friends too? Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, well, when does it escalate to a point where something that is totally inanimate would start to piss a person off? Like where's that line, right? Because you can get all the way up to like, okay, so like if you're a girl and some dude has a full-size, lifelike sex doll who looks exactly like a girl. So it, like that was like the base of the conversation. Okay, so we were looking at these sex dolls that are both men and women, right? Dude, you know what? I will show you. Here you go. Okay. This is a doll. Okay. This is not a person. This is a doll. Okay. And, spoiler alert, if you remove this doll's clothes, it looks just as real and like, they're unbelievably real, like unbelievably real. And you touch their skin feels completely real. How do you know that, Jesse on Fire? I will get to that. Okay. So, look, all it takes is you take what AI, ChatGPT, and if you've ever interacted with ChatGPT, it's like talking to a person, okay? Like it's already there, okay? Like it's already there. There's no like, they need to develop additional technology to get like to where ChatGPT can be conversational, okay? All you're going to be doing, and it's instant, okay? All you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking a ChatGPT system, putting it inside of this doll, and having it able to speak back to, literally just move its mouth and it's going to talk to you like ChatGPT. It's a person, okay? Except it's a person that is incredibly sexually attractive and is able to, and is completely down to bang anytime you want. This is going to be men. This is going to be women. Okay. This is the future. This is going to happen. Okay. And so I want you to think about all of the times that there's like this army of incel guys that are online and, they're looking at girls who look like this, just furious, like, oh my God. Cause if you're a woman watching this, let me just tell you, do you understand what it feels like to look at a girl that's this hot if you are never going to be able to put a hand on it? It's like having 6 cents in the bank. It's just exactly what it's like, for the record. Exactly. Okay. It's like growing up in abject poverty where you've never been able to eat a meal that you actually wanted. You eat what's there. You're eating like leftover bread. You're eating like beans in a can your whole life. Okay. And then next door to your house is a fine dining establishment that has the absolute best food ever, and you smell it all the time. All you want is to eat there, and you never get to eat it. Okay. Like you just see people going in and eating it. They're having the best time. You can like see them across the street too. You're just looking at them all day long, and they're just chowing down on the best food ever while you're eating this soggy, disgusting bread. And they're over there just chowing down the best food ever. That's exactly what it feels like to look at this. If this is a real girl and you are a person who knows, you're never going to get one of these. Never. It's never going to happen for you. Okay. Well, guess what? That's not going to be the case anymore. Okay. That's not going to be the case anymore. There's going to be a moment where there will be a strong argument. And I will double down, triple down, quadruple down on this. A strong argument that one of these will make a better partner than a real girl if you are not interested in having kids. Bottom line. Now, I am obviously not in this category because I am married to my soulmate and she's hotter than any of the fucking dolls and I love her more than anything. And I'm not one of these people, but I know that there's a lot of them out there and I empathize with them. And so that's coming. There's no question that's coming. And it's not even going to be that expensive. Okay. You could get one of these. Let me see how much this one is. This one costs $1,800. Okay. You can have this girl, right? Okay. You know how much a hooker that looks like this would cost? $1,800 an hour. Easy. And you can have one of these forever for $1,800. Okay. I told you they feel completely real. How do you know that, Jesse on Fire? Great question. So in researching this with my wife, I had the idea. I'm like, wait, so how do they move? So we were watching videos of how they move. They move exactly so they have these incredibly, their joints work exactly like a real person's. Okay. Exactly. Okay. Humans are just little machines, right? Our elbows bend like this. Our shoulders go like this. Our torso goes like this. Our knees go like this. Now, I am obsessed with jiu-jitsu. It's all I do. I'm literally leaving in 5 minutes to go do jiu-jitsu. That's why I'm trying to rush through this video. Okay. So jiu-jitsu is all about understanding where the joints are, okay? How to isolate limbs so that you could make the joint go the opposite direction and you break it, okay? That's, if you hear jiu-jitsu and you don't know what it is, okay, you're doing a bunch of very, very highly technical maneuvers to where you're going to isolate a neck and you're going to choke a person unconscious and then you let go, or to death if you decide you want to kill them. Or you're going to twist their knee, their knee's going to pop, you're going to break their forearm, you're going to break their elbow, you're going to break their shoulder, shatter their shoulder. Okay, that's what jiu-jitsu is. And so I was looking at these dolls, I'm like, why couldn't someone use it? And the market for jiu-jitsu dolls is horrendous. Like there are no good jiu-jitsu dolls. Okay, they're really, and I can say that now because I was like, why couldn't someone use one of these for like a jiu-jitsu dummy, like a submission dummy? Okay, so I bought one. Okay, not a very expensive one, like not one that like feels all real or whatever, but one that has the joints or whatever. It is the absolute, it's unbelievable. It's perfect. I've talked about this with people going into business and doing it and making it a thing where it's like, it's a submission dummy, The problem is like if you get a dude, like, and they're like 100 pounds, they're like really fucking heavy. So, which is good for trading with it. If you get a male sex doll, it has an absolutely gigantic unit, which is super fucking weird. I'm not going to get one of those, so I got a girl. But, that's kind of weird also. But nonetheless, bottom line is, okay, like I have handled one of these things. I have learned many techniques on this thing. I took its head off because it freaked me out too much. Like, this is a 100% true story. I can tell you guys really funny stories about how, like, the introduction of this doll into our family. It's the funniest thing ever. I put a gi on it. Okay, so the day it came, I knew what it was, and so we let our kids go to sleep. And so we took it out, and I immediately put a gi on it because it was just so fucking, and it was so fucking real. So the next morning, I had it like on the other side of my bed. So like you come into our bedroom, and then so Giselle comes in, and this thing looked like a dead body. Like she looked like a corpse. And Giselle freaked out, right? Because she looks, I'm in bed, Gabrielle's in bed, and she sees this like corpse on the ground. And the second we woke up, she's like, what is that thing? She's like, what is it? Okay, so the way that she went and investigated, because Giselle's, she's 12, she's getting almost as big as Gabrielle now. So she said that the only way that she was able to go investigate it and figure out that it was a doll is because I had put it in a gi and I wrapped a white belt around it. And so Giselle was like, the only reason I built up the nerve to go check it out is because I'm like, okay, she's a white belt. I could win in a fight. So anyway, yeah, buckle in because that's the future of humanity. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Bye-bye.